We continue now at the top of Daf Gimel Amud Beis Meseches Yoma. This is Yoma Daf 73b. On the previous Amud, the Gemara had a brisa which said that when you ask a question of the Urim V'Tumim, you should only ask one question. If you ask two questions, then we only give one answer, and we only answer the first. And so the Gemara asked by David HaMelech, it's the opposite. He asks two questions, and he only gets an answer on the second question. And so the Gemara answered Shalo Keseder. David HaMelech asked the questions out of order, V'achzira Lo Keseder, and therefore the answer was given to him in the proper order. And when he realized that he asked in the improper order, Chazer v'shal keseder, he then goes and asks in the proper order. Shenemar, like it says, Hayasgiru bali ki'ila osi v'asanasha b'yad shol. He says, are the people of Ki'ila, are they going to give me and my men over to Shaul? Vayomer Hashem Yaskir, and Hashem said, yes, they're going to give you over to Shaul. In other words, the first question that he should have asked was, is Shaul going to come down? HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers that question, and then now he asks the question he asked first. He now repeats that question, and he's given an answer to that question as well. Rashi over here says, Shalo Kaseder, Hayolo Lishal Hayerit Shol. He should have said, is Shol going to come down? That's the first question. And then Hayaskiruni, will I be delivered into his hands? Lafika Chashivu ala Roy Lishal Rishon. That's why he was answered on the first question that he should have asked first. Shol is going to come down. And then he's answered on the second question, am I going to be delivered into Shol's hands? And the answer was yes as well. And the Gemara continues, Vim hutzrach hadavar l'shnayim. Now, if it's necessary to ask for two things, machzir l'shnayim, then we will answer two things. Rashi says, Vim hutzrach l'shnayim kigo nishayim hadavar nochutz vein shos lahamtin. You need to know right now the answer to two questions. There's no time to wait. Kigo ha'erdof hasigeno detziklog. For example, should I pursue them and will I be successful? He needed to know both things. Gemara here brings another proof from David HaMelech. So again, machzir l'shnayim, we give him both answers. Shenemar, like it says, Vayishal David ba'Hashem leimor. Hashem asked David as follows: Ha'erdov acharei hagdud hazeh. Should I chase these troops? Hasigenu, and am I going to be successful? Am I going to reach them? Vayomer lo redov ki aseg tasig v'hatzel tatzel. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers: Go and chase them. You will reach them, and you will be successful in defeating them. V'afa b'shek zeras navi chozeres. And the brisa continues: Even though when a navi makes a decree, we can change the decree. The decree can be changed due to tshuva or other reasons. Gezeras urim v'tumim eina chozeres. When it comes to the gezerah made from the urim v'tumim, it is not taken back. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, b'mishpat ha'urim, with the judgment of the urim, it's like a judgment that cannot be taken back. And the Gemara continues, Lama nikra shaman urim v'tumim. Why are they called the urim v'tumim? Urim shemeirin estivreim. The reason they're called urim is because their words are bright. They illuminate what to do. Tumim shemashlimin estivreim. The word tumim means to say that it completes its words, meaning that which is predicted is going to be fulfilled. V'im tomer, and if you're going to ask, begivas binyamin mipnei ma lo hishlimu, you'll say in the givas binyamin, the words of the urim v'tumim, as we'll see, did not come exactly true. So the Gemara says, no, heim shelo bichnu im l'natzeach im l'hinatzeach. The reason is they only asked, should we go to war? They didn't ask whether they'd be successful. So they weren't successful the first couple times. But the last time when they did ask whether they'd be successful, the Urim V'Tumim said they would, and they were successful. Shenemar, like it says, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron omid lefanav bayom emohem. It says Pinchas was standing as the Kohen in those times. Leimor ha'osif od lotzes la'melchama im b'nei Binyamin achi im echdal. Asked the question, should I go to war with my brother Binyamin or not? Vayomer Hashem alu ki mocher etnenu biyodcha. There, the question also was, will I be successful? And Hashem said, yes, you should go up to war. Tomorrow I will give them over in your hands. Ketzad nasis. And now the Gemara asks, how exactly does the Urim V'Tumim give an answer to the question? So Rabbi Yochanan Omer Boltos. Rabbi Yochanan says the letters, they stick out, and then you're supposed to understand how to arrange the letters for the particular answer. Reish Lakish Omer Mitzdarfos. Reish Lakish says the letters actually rearrange themselves into an answer. So the Gemara asks, V'lo ksibu tzadi, but there's no letter tzadi in the Urim V'Tumim. In any of the names of the Shvatim, we don't have a tzadi. Amar Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak. Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak says, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yakov, Ksiv Sham. It also said the names Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and of course Yitzchak has a tzadi. Gemara asks further, V'alo Ksiv Tes. There's no Tes in all of the names of the Shvatim. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Shivte Yeshurun, Ksiv Sham. Rav Acha bar Yaakov says, it says the words Shivte Yeshurun, and of course the word Shivte has a Tes. Meisvei, they have the following question. Kol Kohen Shino Medaber B'Ruach HaKodesh Shechina Shora Olav. Any Kohen who cannot speak with Ruach HaKodesh and cannot have the Shechina rest upon him, Ein Shoel and Bo. Such a Kohen cannot ask from the Urim V'Tumim. Sharei Shoel Tzadok V'Alsolo, because we find that Tzadok asked from the Urim V'Tumim, he got an answer. Av Yasser V'Lo Alsolo, but Av Yasser asked, he didn't get an answer. Shenemar, like it says, Vayal Av Yasser Atom Kolam V'Gomer. It says that Av Yasser, he went up until the entire nation finished. The point over there is, he didn't get an answer to his question. In any case, the question of the Gemara is that why is a Kohen who is able to have the Shechina Shora Olav, what does he need to ask the Urim V'Tumim for? What's the Urim V'Tumim doing? And so the Gemara answers, Siyua have a Messiah Bahadayu. What it means to say is a Kohen Gadol who is fit to have the Shechina, the Urim V'Tumim can assist him in getting this Ruach HaKodesh. He doesn't get the Ruach HaKodesh on his own, independently, but the Urim V'Tumim is what assists him in getting an answer from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we'll take a look at a few Rashis over here. Lo ishlimu shamru alein b'shnei yom harishonim alu elav v'naflu. Again, that was the war against Binyamin. The first 2 days they'd go to war, and they ended up losing. Heim shelo bichnu urim v'tumim lo pirshu lehem b'shnei yom harishonim alu v'hatzlichu ela alu elav. The Urim V'Tumim just said in the first 2 times, just go to war. But it didn't give an answer in terms of the success. But b'achrona pirshu lehem ki machar etnenu b'yachar. But the last time, the Urim V'Tumim did say that you're going to be successful. Boltos, ha'osios, boltos can go in Ayin Mishimun, Lamed Milevi, Hey Yehuda, for example, Ayin, Lamed, and Hey will stick out from the Urim V'Tumim, Lomar Alei. And the idea will be that you're supposed to read it as Alei. According to this position, so the letters don't actually move around. It just sticks out, and you have to figure out yourself how to put the letters together. And then the Gemara said, if Tzadi doesn't have the letter Tzadi, like for example, if the answer is Hatzel Tatzil, there's no Tzadi. How is the Tzadi? Where's that going to come from? Again, the Gemara answered that question that it says Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And Rashi continues, Tzadok asked from the Urim V'Tumim. He did get an answer. This was when David was fleeing from Avshalom. But if Yasser did not get an answer, the Bryce explains this in Seder Olam. He asked the Urim V'Tumim, he didn't get an answer. He was removed from being a Kohen. Like it says, the boy Kohen Hamidaber Beruach HaKodesh. The idea is you need to have a Kohen who speaks with Ruach HaKodesh. So the question of the Gemara was that the letters don't seem to be sticking out at all. Otherwise, what are you using the Ruach HaKodesh for? It seems to be the Ruach HaKodesh is giving you the answers, not the letters of the Urim V'Tumim. And so the Gemara says, so you have a Messiah, it was an assistance. Kohen Bahadei Urim V'Tumim. The Kohen with the Urim V'Tumim can get the answer. Hilkach im Kohen kasher haya. If the Kohen is a Kohen who's kasher, v'roi lishros shchina olav, and the shchina is fit to be upon him, so then ha'osios boltos ha'mitztarfos al yadu, then the letters will stick out or they'll join together through him. When they ask this Kohen, v'imlav lo boltos v'lo mitztarfos. But the idea is if he's not a Kohen who's fit to have Ruach HaKodesh, so then the letters are not going to do anything. The Gemara continues at the 2 dots. Vein sholin ela l'melech. It said earlier that you can only a king can ask from the Urim V'Tumim. So the Gemara says, menohani mili. How do we know that that's true? Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Avo says, the Yomar Krok, because the pasuk says, V'lifnei Elazar HaKohen Yamod v'shal lo b'mishpat ha'urim. It says that he's going to stand in front of Elazar the Kohen, and he's going to ask from the Urim V'Tumim. We'll take a look at the whole pasuk over here. Whole pasuk says, V'lifnei Elazar HaKohen Yamod v'shal lo b'mishpat ha'urim lifnei Hashem al piv yetzu ve'al piv yavohu. Through the words of the Kohen Gadol and the Urim V'Tumim, that decides whether you go to war, etc. Hu v'chol b'nei Yisrael ito v'chol ha'eda. So it says these various people. Hu v'chol b'nei Yisrael ito v'chol ha'eda. So the question is, who exactly is all of this talking about? So the Gemara says, who is Melech? The word who, that refers to the king. V'chol b'nei Yisrael ito zeh mashuach melchama. All of Klal Yisrael with him, that refers to the Kohen who's anointed to go to war. V'chol ha'eda, when it says chol ha'eda, zu Sanhedrin. That refers to the Sanhedrin. Rashi over here says, who's Melech? D'habi Yoshua mishtoi kra. Pasuk here is talking about Yehoshua, that Yehoshua will ask the Kohen to decide when to go to war. So that's the who, that's the individual, the king. Yehoshua is the king. The Chol B'nei Yisrael Ito. Who's the Chol B'nei Yisrael Ito? Misha Chol B'nei Yisrael Ito. It means the one who all of Klal Yisrael follows him. Lotzes Lamelchama Achrov, to go to war after him. In other words, what the pasuk is really telling you is who is gathering to get advice from the Urim V'Tumim. It's Elazar the Kohen, meaning the Kohen Gadol. It's who, meaning the Melech, the king gathers. Chol B'nei Yisrael refers to the Mashuach Melchama, and Kol Ha'eda refers to the Sanhedrin. Hadron Allah Bolo Lo Kohen Gadol will return to you Perek Bolo Kohen Gadol. This is the end of the 7th Perek of Meseches Yoma. If you're enjoying these videos and this channel, please take a look at the description box below, how you can support this channel, and of course like, share, and subscribe. And we will now begin the 8th parak of Meseches Yoma. The Mishnah says, Yoma Kippurim, an Yom Kippur, Asur Ba'achila, Uveshasiya, Uverachitza, Uvesicha, Uvenilas Asandal. Yom Kippur, it's Asur to eat, to drink, to bathe, to anoint oneself with oil, and to wear shoes, Uvetash B'Shamit, and to have relations. Rashi over here says, Mefarish B'Gemar, Dechol Hani Ikru Inui. All of these things are called Inui, they're affliction. V'gabe Yom Kippurim, Hey Inuyim Ksivi. By Yom Kippur, it says Inui 5 times. V'hani Hey Havid Shesiya B'chlal Achila. This is really 5 things, because Shesiya and Achila, drinking and eating, are all counted as one. V'amelech v'akala yirchatzu es paneim. It says that a king or a bride, they're allowed to wash their face. Rashi says, Melech Darko v'shivcho liosnoa. It's normal for a king to look nice. Also a kala, she needs to look nice for her husband. 30 days to her wedding, that's considered a kala, so they're allowed to wash their faces. And also a woman who gave birth, she can wear shoes. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer, that's the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. Now Rashi over here says, Divrei Rabbi Eliezer akulu koi melech v'kala v'chaya. It's going on all the leniencies by a melech, a kala, and a chaya. Those leniencies are all Rabbi Eliezer. The Chachamim also, and the Chachamim say, no, we don't hold to these leniencies. They're also prohibited from doing these things. And the Mishnah continues, Ha'ochel kekoseves hagasa kamoa v'chagari nasa. If somebody eats the size, the amount of a large date, it and its pit, v'hashosa mole lugmav, or also somebody who drinks a cheekful, chayiv, that's the amount that you're chayiv on Yom Kippur. Kala ochel mitzdarfen l'kekoseves, all foods can join together to make up the shear of a koseves, v'chol hamashkin mitzdarfen l'melo lugmav, and all drinks, they can join together to make the shear of a malo lugmav, of a cheekful. Ha'ochel v'shosa in mitzdarfen, but food and drinks, they don't join together. So if you eat less than the shear of food and less than the shear of drink, it doesn't join together to make you chayiv. And the Gemara says asr. The Mishnah says that it's asr to eat and drink, etc. So anish kares, so what are you talking about that it's asr? It's a punishment of kares. It should mention the fact that if you eat on Yom Kippur, you get kares. It shouldn't just say asr. So Amar Rabbi Eilah v'Yiteimer Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Eilah says, some people say, Rabbi Yirmiyah says, Lo nitzrocha ela l'chatzi shir. What it's needed for is chatzi shir. Let's say you have less than the shir, so it's still going to be asr. As Rashi over here says, l'chatzi shir kagon pachos mikoseves agasa. Let's say you eat less than a koseves agasa. She's shir liyom ha'kippurim k'netnar masis, and that's the shir of eating on Yom Kippur. V'chilo shalom shiura kares leka yisura ika. There you have a situation where you didn't have the proper shir, so there's not going to be any kares, but there is going to be an isur. That's what the Mishnah is talking about. So the Gemara says, fine, if it's chatzi shir, hanich l'man damer chatzi shir asur min haTorah. That makes sense according to the one who says the chatzi shir is prohibited min haTorah. There's a machlokas about this, whether chatzi shir is an isur doraisa. El l'man damer chatzi shir mutter min haTorah, but according to the one who says chatzi shir is mutter, ma'ikol l'meimar, that can't be the explanation of the Mishnah. What are you going to say? The itmar, as we learned, the following machlokas amoroim. Chatzi shir, when it comes to chatzi shir, Rabbi Yochanan amar asur min haTorah, Reish Lakish amar mutter min haTorah. Rabbi Yochanan says it's asur, Reish Lakish says it's mutter. How does Reish Lakish understand the Mishnah? Hanichol Rabbi Yochanan el Reish Lakish ma'ikol l'meimar. It's good according to Rabbi Yochanan in the Mishnah. What is Reish Lakish going to say? So the Gemara answers, Mod Reish Lakish asur midrabanan. Reish Lakish admits that it is asur on a derabanan level to have pachos mikashir, and that's how he understands the Mishnah. It's talking about if you eat less than the shir, it's asur midrabanan. So the Gemara says, Yihachi of Sola nechayev oleh karban shvua. If there's an isur midrabanan, you should not be chayev a karban shvua. Rashi over here says, Yihachi del Reish Lakish asur miya midrabanan. If Reish Lakish holds that chatzi shir is asur midrabanan, lo nechayev oleh karban shvua hanishba shalo yochel chatzi shir midavar ha'asur va'achal. The case is, let's say a person takes an oath not to eat chatzi shir from something which is already prohibited. So in such a situation, generally speaking, when something is already prohibited, the oath doesn't do anything. So here, the person took an oath not to eat a chatzi shir of something that was prohibited. So lo nechayev oleh karban shvuas bitoy. You shouldn't be chayev if the person actually does eat. When he said he wouldn't eat, he shouldn't be chayev a karban shvua. The Akayim Olam Meseches Shvuas Nishba L'Kayim Es HaMitzvah V'Lo Kiyim Pater or Nishba Levatel V'Lo Bitel Pater. We said if a person makes an oath to be mevatel a mitzvah that already exists, so in such a situation he's going to be pater. So the point of the Gemara is over here. According to Reish Lakish, if it's asur midrabanan to have chatzi shir, and then you go try to prohibit it with an oath, you shouldn't be chayav a karban shvua. But that's not what Reish Lakish says, as we're about to see. Alama tanan. Why did we learn over here in the Mishnah? Shvua shelo ochel va'achal nevelos u'treifos shkatzim u'remasim chayiv. It says, let's say you make a shvua not to eat, and he eats nevelos, treifos, shkatzim, and remasim. In all these cases, he's going to be chayiv. Rabbi Shimon poter. Rabbi Shimon says he's poter from a karban shvua in such a situation. And the Gemara says, v'havinon bo. We asked the question on this Mishnah. Am I chayiv? Why should the person, according to the Tanakama, he says he's not going to eat and he eats things that are already not kosher. Why should he be chayiv a karban shvua? Mushba v'yomed me'ar Sinai. There's already an oath on him from Ar Sinai. It's something that's already prohibited. The oath should not take effect on these items because they're already prohibited. You can't make an oath to prohibit something to yourself which is already prohibited. So the Gemara says, Rav u'Shmuel v'Rab Yochanan da'amri b'kolol dvarim hamutarim im dvarim ha'asurim. So Rav, Shmuel, and Rab Yochanan, they all give the same answer. The situation here is he's including in the shvua not to eat kosher things and not kosher things. So the shvua takes effect on the kosher items, and Memela drags along with it the not kosher items. Rashi over here says, B'cholol shvua shelo ochel lo basar shchuta v'lo basar nevela. He says, I'm not going to eat anything, not basar shchuta or basar nevela. D'migo d'chayla hatayra chayla nami ha'isura. Once already, the shvua is chal on the mutter food items, it's chal on everything. Rabbi Shimon poter the leslie iser kola. Rabbi Shimon doesn't hold to this concept of iser kola that once you include a kosher item, it's going to include the not kosher item. V'lo amrin on migo. He doesn't say the migo. So that's the answer of Rav, Shmuel, and Rabbi Yochanan. Reish Lakish Amar. Reish Lakish gives a different answer. The case over here is where he said that he's not going to eat a chatzi shir, v'aliba de rabbanan, and it follows the position of the rabbanan, o bistam, or it can even be when he doesn't explain. And Rashi over here says, Reish Lakish Amar, iyata motzi shechayev korban shvuah ala nevela machal kezayis shu mush ba'olav mehar Sinai ela ba'ochel chatzi shir. The case where you're going to be chayev for eating nevela, a korban shvuah, is not going to be if you ate the shir, it's going to be if you ate a chatzi shir. She'eno mush ba'olav misinai, because there's no prohibition from Har Sinai and a chatzi shir. With the shvuah that created this. So basically, Reish Lakish is answering chatzi shir is the case where you bring a korban shvuah because there's no prohibition, and therefore the oath takes effect because you're making a prohibition where there was none. One way to understand this is he specifically says he won't eat a chatzi shir. That would follow the Rabbanan because the Rabbanan say that in general, if you say you're not going to eat, it means kashir. So you have to actually say, I'm not going to eat a chatzi shir, and that's going to be an oath that's going to, again, take effect because there's no prohibition. Or you can even say it's talking stam, where you don't specify chatzi shir, but he only ate a chatzi shir. Because he wasn't prohibited misinai from eating a chatzi shir. You can say, according, as we'll see in the next Amud, you can say according to a particular Tana that even if you say stam, that includes chatzi shir. But the point over here is, Reish Lakish is saying that chatzi shir is not prohibited at all, and the Gemara is understanding that to mean even on a D'Rabbanan level, there's no prohibition, and that's why there's a korban shvuah. So how can we say earlier that Reish Lakish says that it's prohibited, chatzi shir is also midrabbanan? Then there should not be a korban shvuah. We'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Ayin Dalid Amud Aleph.